Have you ever wondered why your sneakers have those tiny holes on the sides? You might think they're just for decoration, but the truth is far more fascinating. These little perforations have a surprising history and purpose that dates back over a century. Today, we read diving into the hidden world of sneaker ventilation and uncovering the real reason behind those mysterious holes. Picture this. It's the late 1800s, and the first rubber-soled shoes are hitting the market. They're comfortable, they're durable, but there's one big problem. They're hot. Really hot. Imagine your feet trapped in a rubber sauna all day long. Not exactly a recipe for fresh, happy feet. Right, enter the humble sneaker hole. These tiny perforations were a game changer, allowing air to circulate and keeping feet cool and dry. But here's where it gets interesting. Those holes weren't just about comfort. They actually played a crucial role in the manufacturing process itself. You see, back in the day, sneakers were made by vulcanizing rubber, essentially cooking it at high temperatures to make it stronger and more flexible. But there was a catch. If you didn't let the hot air escape during this process, you'd end up with a shoe full of bubbles and weak spots. Those little holes, they were escape hatches for the hot air, ensuring a perfectly formed sneaker every time. But wait, there's more. These ventilation holes also served another purpose that might surprise you. They helped prevent the growth of bacteria and fungi inside the shoe. By allowing moisture to evaporate, they created a less hospitable environment for those unwanted microbial guests. So not only were your feet cooler, but they were also less likely to develop that dreaded sneaker stink. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's all well and good for old school sneakers, but why do modern shoes still have these holes? Well, it turns out that even with all our advanced materials and manufacturing techniques, those little perforations are still incredibly useful. Today's athletic shoes are designed to be lightweight and breathable, and those ventilation holes play a big part in achieving that goal. They help regulate temperature, reduce sweat buildup, and keep your feet comfortable during intense workouts or long days on your feet. But here's where it gets really interesting. Some shoe companies have taken the concept of ventilation to a whole new level. We're talking about shoes with strategically placed holes that not only cool your feet, but also improve performance. For example, some running shoes now feature perforations that help reduce air resistance, making you just a tiny bit faster with every step. And it's not just about performance. Those little holes have become a canvas for creativity in shoe design. From intricate patterns to hidden messages, designers are using these perforations to make sneakers that are as much a work of art as they are functional footwear. So the next time you slip on your favorite pair of sneakers, take a moment to appreciate those tiny holes. They were not just there for show. They were carrying on a century-old tradition of keeping your feet cool, dry, and comfortable. Who knew such a small detail could have such a big impact? But here's a question to ponder. With all our modern technology, will we ever see a day when sneaker holes become obsolete? Or will they continue to evolve, taking on new forms and functions we haven't even imagined yet? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure. The humble sneaker hole has earned its place in the history of footwear innovation. Speaking of innovation, did you know that some high-tech sneakers are now using advanced materials that can actually change their ventilation properties based on your body temperature? Imagine a shoe that opens up more holes when your feet get hot and closes them when you're cold. It sounds like science fiction, but it's closer to reality than you might think. And it's not just about temperature control. Some researchers are exploring ways to use those ventilation holes to gather data about your gait, foot pressure, and even your overall health. We could be looking at a future where your sneakers are not just shoes, but also sophisticated health monitors. But let's bring it back to the present for a moment. Next time you're shopping for sneakers, pay attention to those ventilation holes. Their placement, size, and pattern can tell you a lot about how the shoe will perform. Are they concentrated in areas where your feet tend to get hottest? Are they part of a larger system designed to move air through the shoe? These are the kinds of details that can make the difference between a good shoe and a great one. And here's a pro tip. If you're someone who struggles with sweaty feet, look for sneakers with more ventilation holes, especially in the toe box and along the sides. It might seem like a small detail, but it can make a world of difference in your day-to-day comfort. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what about water? Don't those holes let water in? It's a fair question, and the answer is it depends. While it's true that ventilation holes can let in some moisture, many modern sneakers are designed with water-resistant materials or special membranes that help keep your feet dry even in wet conditions. And let's be honest, if you're planning on wading through deep puddles, you might want to consider a different type of footwear anyway. But let's take a moment to appreciate the bigger picture here. Those tiny holes in your sneakers are a perfect example of how even the smallest design elements can have a big impact. They're a testament to human ingenuity and our constant drive to improve and innovate. From solving manufacturing challenges to enhancing athletic performance, these little perforations have played a surprisingly important role in the evolution of footwear. So the next time someone asks you about those holes in your sneakers, you can impress them with your newfound knowledge. Tell them about the history, the science, and the ongoing innovation behind this seemingly simple feature. Who knows, you might just inspire them to look at their own shoes in a whole new light. And as we wrap up our journey through the world of sneaker ventilation, I want to leave you with one final thought. The story of these little holes is a reminder that sometimes the most important innovations are the ones we take for granted. It is a lesson in paying attention to the details and appreciating the thought and engineering that goes into even the most everyday objects. So, what other everyday items might be hiding fascinating stories and clever design features? What other simple things in our lives are actually marvels of innovation?